In this video, I'm going to talk about event cards and action cards, because I forgot to in the last video. Alright, I forgot to mention these two decks in the mechanics video, but I put them in the setup, so I figured I'd talk about them. Alright, so this is the event deck, and this is the action deck. At the start of the battle round, you would, I think it says the person who has initiative is going to flip over one of these event cards, and they're going to do what it says. Fairly straightforward. So this one says, decisive movement. Your opponent chooses one of your models. The maximum distance it may move is increased by one more space this round. Then choose one of your opponent's models. It too increases its maximum distance it can move by one space. And so that would just happen. And there's a bunch of these. Boggart, place an objective marker in an open terrain space with no other markers or models inside. Any model that starts its activation within 3 spaces of the marker or moves or is placed within 3 spaces during its activation must take a wisdom challenge. If this challenge has failed, the model ends its activation immediately. So you want to put this so it's blocking your opponent most of the time. Here we go. Tactical Vision. Draw a card from the adventure deck. It's over there. This card may only be played by you at the start of one of your own activations this round. If this card has not been used when the round ends, it's discarded. So that's really good for you. So those are events, and whoever has the initiative. So in the case of like the game we were setting up, the Hogwarts Trio was 5, the Death Eaters had 4. So the Hogwarts Trio player, when he activated his first model, would flip this over, and that would happen. All right. So then the action cards. I think these are action cards, not adventure cards. That just said that last card said an adventure card. These are adventure cards, not action cards. And the rules say that determine a player at the start of the round. Determine a player randomly, which I'm not sure why you would do that. So I think we're always going to do the turn player. They would flip over 3 of these, and they all have to choose one. And the way this would work is whichever player activates the second model, they get to pick one of these. So if you have initiative and you're activating the first model, you do not get to pick one of these on that turn. The second player activating the second model would be able to pick one of these, and they could apply it to that model. So for example, right here, move 1 more space during this move activation, or +1 die to its next defense roll. And so they would get to roll an extra die. And when you roll extra dice, you get to pick the 3 that you're going to use. So that's nice. You don't get to use all 4. I don't think. Maybe you do. I'll check it out. And then they would discard this. And then from henceforth, anybody who activates a model would be able to pick one of these. So if you were going first, you would not pick one. If you're going second, you could pick one. And then it would go back to the first player. And so then whoever's going to go second will have the option to use 2 of these. If you don't use one, it stays out. So if you choose not to use one, your opponent may get an extra. And then at the end of the round, you will discard any ones that aren't used. And then you will add some new ones on top of that. And that is how the event deck and the adventure deck work in a game of Harry Potter's Adventure Mega Game. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments below.